Well, the three most common skin conditions that we see in the clinic during the summer are number 1, sunburn, second is heat rash, and the third is jellyfish sting.
While we still need the sun to produce vitamin D, ang sinasabi natin na avoid the sun is avoid it from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. because yan yung time na pinakamataas yung energy ng araw, and yung energy na yan, mas mabilis makasira ng balat.
With so many beautiful beaches to explore, summer in the Philippines is always fun. Yet with the grueling heat comes UV rays that can cause damage to our skin. Let's talk about summer skin conditions and get to know helpful tips in building your summer skincare routine. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome to Med Talk Health Talk. The hotter and longer days of summertime can affect our skin in different ways, more so than any other time of the year. Now, to help us understand more about this, we are joined today by Dr. Winlove Mojica, who is a dermatologist and clinical associate professor of the UPPGH Department of Dermatology. Now, before we talk about how our viewers can protect their skin from the UV rays or yung ultraviolet rays ng sun, pag-usapan muna natin ang skin, especially ng Filipinos. Let's talk about that, the skin phototypes o yung kulay ng ating mga kababayan. How does this affect the risk, or does it protect us from the UV rays?
Ang mga Filipinos would usually have brown skin, We are considered to have a skin of color. So usually Filipinos have more brown pigment in their skin compared to other individuals from Western countries. So usually the phototype will be on the 3 to 4 phototype. But some Filipinos would have also lighter skin, and some Filipinos would also have darker skin. But in general, we are brown skin. And this brown skin is usually protective of UV rays, because the more pigment, the more there is a scattering effect or protective effect from UV rays.
So does this mean if Filipinos are usually on the darker skin tone, like you said, around 3, 4, does this mean we don't need to worry about going out into the sun without protecting our skin?
Not necessarily, although Filipinos in general are protected from skin cancer because they have brown skin cancer still occurs in Filipinos. We still have basal cell carcinomas, squamous cell carcinomas. Our farmers, our workers who are exposed to the sun, specifically MMDA, mga nagtatrabaho sa kalsada, mas mataas yung risk nila for skin cancer still.
Okay, Doc Win, that's important to note since you mentioned skin cancer is also a risk even sa kulay ng balat ng ating mga Filipinos. When it comes to skin cancer, we all want to be cautious about this, preventive about this. What are some symptoms or ano ang makikita ng mga tao that may prompt them to seek consult with a dermatologist na huwag ibaliwala?
So there are different types of skin cancers, but meron tayong tinatawag na ABCDE rule para maobserbahan kung ang isang bagay na tumutubo sa ating balat ay isang skin cancer. So yung A, tinatawag na asymmetry, hindi pantay. Dapat perfect, kunwari may nunal, dapat perfect na bilog siya. B, the border. Dapat alam mo kung saan nagsisimula yung kulay at kung saan nagtatapos. Kung medyo fuzzy or hazy yung border, baka yun ay skin cancer. Color. Dapat isa lang yung kulay. So, either completely brown, completely black, or completely blue. Pag iba-iba yung kulay sa loob ng isang nunal, may pula, may brown, may blue, baka yun ay skin cancer. Diameter. Pag siya ay lumalaki. Okay? Dapat habang tumatanda tayo, hindi na lumalaki yung mga nunal. Pero pag siya ay lumalaki, patuloy na lumalaki, baka yun ay skin cancer. And last, evolving, o letter E, yung sa ABCDE. Nagbabago yung itsura niya over time. Nagbabago yung kulay, nagbabago yung size. So yan ang mga senyalis na maaring kayo ay merong skin cancer.
Now let's go back to protecting ourselves from the UV rays ng sun. Ano ba yung best ways to protect ourselves? Alam ng iba, sunblock lotion is good. Ano bang SPF ang maganda?
Marami kasi sa atin, walang pambili ng sunscreen. So the simplest way is to avoid the sun. While we still need the sun to produce vitamin D, ang sinasabi natin na avoid the sun is avoid it from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. because yan yung time na pinakamataas yung energy ng araw, and yung energy na yan, mas mabilis makasira ng balat, cause ng premature aging, ng burn, at ng skin cancer. So yung 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., mas maganda na sa loob tayo ng bahay. Pero may mga pagkakataon na kailangan nating lumabas, may kailangan tayong gawin sa labas. Minsan magsampay ng damit. Kung merong paraan para makakuha ng sunscreen, ito ay magandang paraan para maprotektahan yung sarili natin from the sun. Protecting yourself from the sun, not going out from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., wearing proper clothing, and then if you have extra budget, you can use sunscreen.
Okay, very good information there. Now let's talk about kung anong nauuso ngayon, Dr. Wayne, which is ang glutathione. Marami mga Filipinos would like to lighten their skin tone, maybe for aesthetic reasons. But let's talk about glutathione in general. Ano ba ito? Because glutathione is naturally produced by our bodies. Could you talk about what happens or what are some of the risks kapag we take more of it, more than that our body needs?
First, let's talk about what glutathione is. Glutathione is an antioxidant like vitamin C. So, an antioxidant is a substance that reduces free radicals in the body. Yung free radicals, napoproduce yan during the normal body processes. Para siyang basura. So, pag naipon yung free radicals, mas tumataas yung chance mo magkaroon ng mga sakit tulad ng heart disease, stroke, at yung mga katulad na ganong sakit. Yung glutathione, you are correct, it is normally produced by our body in the liver. And there's this misconception that you have to take oral glutathione or inject glutathione to protect your liver. Baliktad. The liver is the organ that detoxifies the body. Baligtad. So, you need to protect the liver so that it can produce glutathione and continue protecting the body. One of the best ways to protect your liver is not to drink alcohol. So, ayun ang kung gusto natin na mas maraming glutathione sa katawan natin, we need to protect our liver so it produces more glutathione.
So those are very important points, and we'll talk more about the skin and how to care for it later on the show. Our skin is vulnerable to a number of conditions during the summer season. More on this when we return, so stay with us here on Med Talk Health Talk. Summer is a perfect time to spend outdoors, but it's also peak time for a number of skin conditions. Now, what are these skin conditions that you may encounter, and what are the best ways for you to prevent or even manage them? Well, to answer these burning questions, we are joined today by Dr. Jennifer Lavinango, who is a PDS certified dermatologist. Now, Dr. Jen, it's great to have you here, but could you share with us what are the more common skin conditions that people may encounter, especially during the summertime?
Well, the three most common skin conditions that we see in the clinic during the summer are number one, sunburn, which is caused by overexposure to the sun. Second is your prickly heat, or more commonly known as heat rash or bungang araw, which is caused by sweat that's trapped in the skin. And the third is jellyfish sting, which is actually caused by the activities that people do when they visit the beach.
Himayin natin yun one by one. Let's talk first about sunburn. How can we best treat sunburn or manage sunburn or even prevent it from happening?
So whenever you get sunburn, the number one thing that I advise my patients is to apply aloe vera, because it has an anti-inflammatory component that decreases the redness and actually decreases the swelling. And it's actually 99% water, so it actually draws moisture to the skin. Second, you can take your oral NSAIDs or pain relievers such as ibuprofen and paracetamol just to help with the pain. And third is frequent application of your moisturizing lotion to help bring back the moisture that was lost from sunburn.
The more extreme cases of sunburn, where sometimes blisters may form, parang may tubig sa loob, and people would like to, release that water, puputukin nila. Is this a good thing to do?
That is not a good thing to do kasi it can scar your skin. It can also introduce infection. So whenever you get blisters from sunburn, what we advise our patients is to do salt water compress. So how do you do that? You mix a teaspoon of rock salt in a glass of water, you stir it, and then boil it just to make sure that it's all dissolved. And then after, get a cotton, soak it in the salt water, and then cover on the affected area. It should pop on its own.
Okay, so definitely do not cause any injury in that. If unsure, always go to your dermatologist for advice. Now, let's go on to the second one, which is prickly heat, or also known as bungang araw. How does this happen? Bakit mga bata ang pangkaraniwan nagkakaroon ng ganito, Doc Jen?
Okay, so prickly heat or heat rash is actually caused by sweat that's trapped in your skin. This is because the duct that transports the sweat from your body to the surface of the skin is blocked. So why children? It's because children have the built-in thermoregulatory system is not yet that developed as compared to adults. So they are more prone to it.
Okay, best ways to manage this. A lot of people would manage this way by applying talcum powder to sort of dry out the area. Is this the best way to manage bungang araw or prickly heat?
So talcum powder is actually very popular, no? But it's more of an anecdotal evidence. It's not scientifically proven to improve or prevent prickly heat or heat rash. So whenever children get it, what we advise the parents is to do cold compress. So you get a smooth cloth, dip it in cold water, and then you make patong over the affected area. But if it doesn't resolve, of course, you can visit your board-certified dermatologist because we can prescribe some medicated topicals for it.
Okay, so don't self-medicate when it comes to this. Always get advice from a specialist. Now let's go on to the third one, which is jellyfish stings. Napaka-popular nga talaga nito. A lot of people may be thinking about going to the beach, enjoying the ocean to beat the summer heat, but lately the oceans now are filled with jellyfish. Let's talk about that. Talk about the best way to manage this.
Before I discuss on what's the best way, I'll discuss what should not be done.
Okay.
So, I understand it's very popular to use urine or yung iihian mo yung jellyfish sting. So, number one, it's again anecdotal. It's not scientifically proven to cure the jellyfish sting. It's also unhygienic. So, it tends to aggravate the situation by triggering the tentacles from secreting that toxin. So what we recommend as first aid is number one, rinse the affected body part in white vinegar or your house vinegar actually. And then for 20 seconds, this is to paralyze the tentacles from firing. And then once it's paralyzed, you get tweezers, or if it's not available, just a gloved hand, just to protect the hand, and then remove the tentacles one by one. Once the tentacles are removed, you soak the affected body part in warm water for 20 minutes to help decrease the inflammation and the pain for the one who got stung by the jellyfish. And then afterwards, once it's enough, we can apply topical steroids, or actually you can take oral pain relievers to help with the pain, should there be pain. And then it eventually goes away.
Okay, so especially, you mentioned also about topical steroids. What should our viewers know about topical steroids? Are there some cautions that we should know about?
So it is not safe to actually just apply any kind of topical steroid, because I understand that some topical steroids are over the counter. So whenever you pick topical steroids, it matters which body part is involved, how much you have to apply, and the duration. So often kasi patients buy steroids and then they just apply repeatedly, sometimes for a prolonged period of time, and what happens is their skin gets thin, they get easy bruisability, they get infection, because the skin tends to be too thin from chronic application of steroids. So my advice, when in doubt, always consult a PDS board-certified dermatologist to get the best advice.
Very good advice that you gave right there. Now, do you have any final tips for our viewers, especially now the summer is fast approaching?
The best skincare routine for me during the summer, I can summarize in 3 letters. PMH, so that's protect. Protect yourself with a broad spectrum sunscreen of at least SPF 50 and above when at the beach. Then second, M, moisturize with your moisturizing lotions. And H is hydrate yourself with at least 8 glasses of water, because nothing beats total body hydration.
Very good advice, and thank you so much, Doc Jen, for sharing your expertise and knowledge with our viewers. I'm sure they'll be ready for the summer after this. Creating a good skincare routine is vital in protecting our skin, not just during the summer, but all year round. More on this when we return, so keep it here on Med Talk Health Talk. summertime in the Philippines exposes us to a lot of things like dark spots, acne, sunburn, and a whole lot more. But having a good skincare routine can help make your skin glowing and looking fresh the whole year long. Now, continuing with us is Dr. Winlove Mojica, who is a dermatologist, PDA certified dermatologist, and clinical associate professor of the UP PGH Department of Dermatology. Now, continuing, Doc Win, with kung paano pa alagaan ng ating balat, skincare, what are some of the advantages, say, in using skincare products? We see it a lot advertised everywhere. What are some of the advantages? Mas gaganda ba talaga yung balat natin pag mas marami tayong skin product?
Actually, I just want to say that skincare does not need to start when you are 20s, or it does not need to be expensive, no? Skincare can be as simple as taking care not to expose yourself from too much sun, and at the same time, moisturizing regularly, especially if you are eczema prone. Now, totoo naman na dapat talaga nating alagaan ng balat. Huwag tayong mag-guilty na meron tayong skincare because the skin is the largest organ of the body. One of the things that we need to understand is it's difficult to match a specific product to a specific skin condition. Different people will have different skin conditions, and therefore different products will have a certain effect on their skin condition. General guide, dahil sobrang dami ng products sa market, is avoid highly scented products because the more ingredients a product has, the more chances of irritation. So, ganun na lang. And then, for example, if 1 to 2 weeks or at most a month, the product is not working for you, don't insist on using the product. You can go to a dermatologist, a board-certified dermatologist, so that you can have guidance.
May pagkakaiba. Is there a significant difference between the skin of mga males and females? We have to admit that a lot of males really don't bother taking care of their skin. But does this have advantages even for the men who don't take care of their skin a lot? You mentioned earlier moisturizer. Is that effective even in a humid country like the Philippines?
Yes. Actually, yung balat ng lalaki at babae, in general pareho. Ang magkakaiba kung magkakaibang age group. If you're a baby, mas manipis yung balat mo compared to a teenager, kumakapal yung balat mo because you are more active. And then when you become older, numinipis siya ulit. So, ganun yung parang mas magandang comparison. Ano? Katulad ng sinabi ko, kahit na nandito ka sa humid country, kailangan mo pa rin mag-moisturize. Merong mga certain body parts na kailangan mong i-moisturize.
Now, what are some of the more common myths that you know are going around? Let's debunk some of them. What are some of the more common myths that you know of in your practice?
Ang madalas kong nakikita is yung paggamit ng topical collagen at pag-inom ng collagen para daw pampabata. Now, collagen is a protein molecule. It is a protein and it is a very big substance. It cannot pass through your skin. Hindi siya ma-absorb ng balat dahil sobrang laki niya. At the same time, when you drink collagen, nadadigest siya ng gastric juices natin. So, na-hydrolyze siya. Ibig sabihin, naghihiwa-hiwalay siya. Not necessarily buong collagen pupunta sa balat natin. Ano? So, mas maganda if we eat food that are high in protein like meat, fish, poultry, and vegetables such as legumes if we want to boost collagen production in our body.
Okay, how about some of the common things that Filipinos do that you see that should be avoided para sa health ng skin?
Ito hindi masyadong nadidiscuss, pero smoking. Maraming tao, 10 yung kanilang ginagamit for skincare, pero ang lakas nilang magyosi.
Now, any final tips, advice for our viewers, especially with skincare, Doc Win?
Especially now, summer, no? Mainit. So, again, protect yourself from the sun as much as possible. Don't go out 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Drink lots of water, even more than 8 glasses a day. Of course, maraming na-intimidate na parang, nako, yung pagpapaderma para sa mga mayayaman lang. Hindi po totoo yun. You don't have to be rich to see a dermatologist. You can just go to pds.org.ph and you can see several hospitals who provide free consultations, no, for dermatological concern.
Okay, I'm sure our viewers are really prepared now for the summer, especially with skincare, with all that information that you gave, Dr. Win. So thank you so much for sharing those and for joining us here on MedTalk Health Talk. Ultimately, we all have different skin types, so there's no one size fits all when it comes to our skincare. What's important is that you adjust your routine accordingly. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and thank you for joining us here on MedTalk Health Talk.